2022 was an eventful one for the University of the Western Cape. We want to roll back the year in this edition of UWC On Air. It is good to have you along, everyone. Robin Adams here. Here's what's coming up on the show.
From the mobile dental clinics that provide essential oral care services to those most in need, to the launch of a historic Junior Girls Football League, Shebobo, we'll pick out some of the key events and achievements at the university this year. The grandest of grand tours. Plans are in motion for UWC to become a tourist destination. And a focus on the vegan lifestyle. A former UWC student will be here to share his experience.
"2022 was one for the books for UWC. We bounced back from a lengthy COVID-interrupted spell, but with renewed vigor and drive. And it's with that in mind that we'd like you to celebrate the year's big moments with us.
We've staged dozens of successful fundraising events this year. The golf days in particular were on par with the best of them. The university's recognition of prior learning units has been flying the flag high. They also won a global award for the RPL's Access program. As the months rolled by in 2022, we ticked off one historic event after the other. Shebobo, the first ever junior girls-only football league in South Africa, was a roaring success, and one that the country's football bosses are using to launch their bid to land the 2027 Women's World Cup. In November, we launched UWC On Air, a historic project that was over 2 years in the making. The 30-minute TV program showcasing the best stories from the university on Cape Town TV and DSTV quickly became one of the most talked about broadcasts. The UWC Sports Awards celebrated the best achievements and performances from our sportsmen and women. No rest for the wicked. Preparations for 2023 are already in full swing. Looking forward to welcoming you at the University of the Western Cape.
Grand plans to launch UWC tours, those are in the pipeline. The project will be modeled on the hugely successful open-top red buses in the major cities all across the world. Hardy Zacharias explains.
The campus tour is quite enlightening and quite rich. I actually use this corridor to actually say to people, welcome down memory lane, because we've got beautiful historical archival pictures on the wall. And it's quite appropriate that we kept all of these pictures within the Senate building, because it is such an old historical building which happens to be a landmark. So the Huel Primary School is normally our first stop, where we normally take people there to where the university was actually really born out of and moved to the current premises where we are at. And every single landmark, including the Nature Reserve, including the Education Faculty Building, the Life Sciences Building, which is like really the jewel in the crown of campus, was all by our own design. And then of course there's the main gateway, as we call it, with the portal that leads into the quad, which is the heart of UWC. There's our statue that is situated in the quad as well. They say that if you have not been to that particular statue, you have not been to UWC, because it symbolizes a domestic worker and a son celebrating his graduation. And what normally happens as part of the tradition is that students with their mom and their dad, they stand in front of that statue, they take a picture, and then they go into the main hall, and then they actually graduate as UWC alumni. Then they walk out of the main portal, and then out of the main portal you actually see the symbol of the Alumni Association, which is a pyramid with a flame. So symbolically we want that to be the last thing that you see before you leave UWC and go out into the world as alumni and make yourself, your family, and of course the university extremely proud. There's many great people that have come out of here, and we're continuing to produce the best type of caliber of student that you can find. And that, knowing where you come from and knowing the history and knowing the richness of what brought us to where we are, is very, very important with regards to the fabrics of where we are, where we're going, and where we want to be. So that is something that we really live up to quite nicely.
2023 is going to be a big one for sports lovers all across the globe. World Cup Central, rugby, cricket, women's football, and of course the big one, netball, which is being staged right here in South Africa. Our UWC Sports Director, Mandla Gagai, looks ahead to a very, very busy 12 months of sport.
It doesn't always happen that you have 4 World Cups in 1 year. So I think it's going to be a bumper year. And what is more attractive, especially for us in the Western Cape, is the fact that the Netball World Cup will be here in the Western Cape, in Cape Town. And also for aspiring young people out there, I think, because now one needs to challenge him or herself to play and perform at the highest level so that they can stand a chance to be selected to play in those teams. Or if one doesn't play in those teams, there's also opportunity for one to get involved as a volunteer so that whatever legacy remains, a person can say, can look back and say, I was part of that dream, I was part of that history. You know, the history of this university is the university that always fights for the underdog. So if you look at the history of this country, women were always pushed to the sidelines, whether it's in sport or it's in corporate or even in social activities. So we took a conscious decision to say, let us now tip the scales, let us level the playing field. And by that we said we're going to invest a bit more in sport for women. And the results have been visible for everyone to see. If you look at the recent AFCON in Morocco, 50% of that team are people that came from UWC. Now, we have a female coach that just came back from Commonwealth. She was managing hockey, Lynn Abramse. So when we invest in women, we don't invest for the sake of saying it. We invest because we can already see the results.
We're taking a short break to help get us there. One of our best TV moments from undoubtedly our most phenomenal guest, the late Dr. Carolina Oddman from our Natural Sciences faculty, who coined a very simple phrase, and it's words to live by.
We don't know what we must.
When we launched UWC On Air, we created a space for former students to tell their stories. Our segment, Them and Now, mapped the former students' journeys from this campus to their present-day situations. And we featured some incredible guests.
I'm Genevieve Lens, and I was born and bred in Pontyville. I attended Acadia Primary School, and this is my high school. I attended here from 95 to 98. And from high school, I went on to UWC. So Dream to Aspire was established in 2021, and our main focus would be life skills, career guidance, and entrepreneurship. We believe that yes, you can have a career, but you can also, because they are so talented, they could easily just go into entrepreneurship. So we want to create those opportunities and provide them with skills and knowledge to be able to make the right informed decisions in terms of careers, but also go on and become entrepreneurs.
So my name is Eddie Andrews. I'm currently the Deputy Mayor in the City of Cape Town. I'm also the Mayoral Committee Member for Spatial Planning and the Environment. I am a Mitchells Plain. I've been married to one woman for the past 23 years. We have 3 amazing children, a 20-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. And that's who I am. And now currently for the past 11 years being in politics and scrumming down for a different team. Of course, most people remember me as a rugby player, and having played professionally for Western Province, the Stormers, and the Springbok. And I have graduated in a Bachelor of Administration. I've majored in political science and public administration, and still studying this year. I'm already part-time. I've got year 1 in my honors. I've just sort of concluding my last block week. I've got an outstanding essay they have to write. So Prof, if you're listening, hopefully you can assist me there. I'm busy doing UWC, very important work for UWC. And next year I have got my final, my second year of my honours degree in public administration.
Right now we want to give you rare and very exclusive access to some of our behind the scenes footage from our very special collection. This has never been played to anyone on UWC On Air before.
It is not so. I can tell you that men complain more than women.
Hey.
Sure.
Hey.
Sure.
Tour encapsulates the Senate building.
Not expecting that. That's amazing.
Also coming up, you've seen it in the movies, but just how do lie detector tests work? Believe it or not, they're actually quite common in a number of South African industries. We'll also look at the legalities around polygraph analysis.
Okay, sorry. Just a little bit faster.
Faster.
Just a little bit.
Master, maar as ons vir jou soek om vir ons rond te ry, jy never available. Yeah, but we're always looking for you. We want a proper VIP tour of this campus, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mango Tango! UWC's finest! So we talk about legends around campus. Here's one of them going right there.
You're very happy about what you're telling them now.
Oh, yeah. So I'm really excited about this TikTok thing.
Tonight, showcasing the very best stories from the University of the Western Cape. From groundbreaking research to global achievements in innovation.
Yep, that's cool. And then just to keep in line with the...
Pam 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 pararam pam pam. Yeah. I like to move it. Yeah, I like the move it. As part of our World Prematurity Day coverage in November, we told the stories of the miracle babies who survived and thrived. Nastasia Crow from UWC's media department broke every rule in the doctor's book. The medical professional said she would have developmental problems when she was born at 30 weeks, weighing just 1 kilogram. She was told she'd never be able to read or have children. And man, oh man, did she show them. Nastasia is 34 with a healthy son, Caleb, who was born preterm as well. Then there's the story of Morne Hayes, the UWC student whose preemie baby was born through emergency C-section. Baba had no heartbeat, but the Hayes family's faith was strong.
They then performed the C-section and informed us just before they did the C-section that the baby did not make it at all. So while they were busy with the C-section, I actually spoken to my wife and she told me to relax, because if this was part of God's plan, then so be it. When the C-section was done and they took the baby out, the baby immediately screamed. And that was something that we did not expect, as well something that the doctors did not expect. So they rushed the baby to the NICU and they asked me to follow. I was sitting in the waiting room while they do the checks and performs CPR and whatever they did. They then discovered that the baby was actually well and breathing. It was something that my wife and I could not believe at that point, but also became aware that God has been faithful. So my daughter is well at this point. She's 3 years of age, alive and kicking like any normal toddler would be.
My body, nobody has the right to hurt me.
We're taking a short break, and right after that, we'll keep reflecting on the year that was 2022. November 1st marked World Vegan Day. Many people still see the lifestyle as restrictive and expensive. Not so, says former student Dean Roberts, who's been sharing his own personal journey.
So, around about 3 years ago, my dad was actually diagnosed with prostate cancer. So what it did for me was I just went on this research mission to kind of find out ways to kind of mitigate my own risks. Because as you know, many of those things are hereditary. And the more I did research, the more I looked into it, the more I kept stumbling upon plant-based lifestyles, veganism, and just the links between plant-based lifestyles and how it has amazing benefits in terms of helping with different types of cancers, but also being able to help protect you from those sort of cancers. Even if I look at just the last 3 years, the amount of products that there are now that you can go into a Pick and Pay or a Spa. I even buy vegan margarine at the OK, the local OK. So if you start looking at the amount of product that's available, it becomes a lot easier to sustain that kind of lifestyle. It's all about the textures and the flavors at the end of the day. Plant-fueled nutrition was never supposed to be a business, funny enough. When I started my vegan journey, I started to realize, because like I mentioned, I've always been very active. I've always been training, I've been in the gym. And that was one of the things I didn't want to neglect, I always wanted to keep going. And like I said, because I felt the immediate benefits once I went plant-based, I wanted to make sure that whatever else I was using within my training journey, that it was still vegan friendly. So some of the people we brought on board is like Clint Brink, his wife Steffi Brink, we signed Babal Walacha, who was the Springbok women's rugby captain. But not only that, we've had Tassie Brits, Sinalo Jafta, who represented the women's Proteas at the Cricket World Cup. We have Keenan Horn, who represented the SA hockey team at the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, and all these high-level athletes that have come on board, understanding the benefits of plant-based nutrition.
Every single week we endeavor to deliver a quality show, and of course, in pursuit of perfection, we don't always get it right the first time, so we try again and again and again, and every single take means more gems for the bloopers reel.
It's part of your personal journey. Please tell us. No, please tell us.
I've never been in bloopers.
What is the legal
Creative writing usually says.
Your research was primarily based on an intervention. Can you tell us a bit about?
No, your research resulted in.
Yeah.
The University of the Western Cape Choir. Yes. Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Camilia. I'm from Morocco. My dad, I love watching football because my dad used to. We have to retake this.
There we go.
Wait, I have stress. Can you please turn around?
RPL has long been a pathway to studying at a higher learning institution. The UWC program no, that's quality service. Quality service. You are unlikely to find a happier gentleman on this campus right now. Not me. Him.
You started your own brand, Field.
Brand fuel. I started
Your own fuel company.
I started my own fuel company. I sell petrol, diesel.
That's what the 95 octane.
Vegan friendly octane.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm really sorry. Okay, here we go. You started your own brand, Plant Field Nutrition. How did that come about?
So let me tell you. I'm not even nervous. But it's like
Political science student. He's the deputy mayor of Cape Town. Father, dad. He wears so many hats. We'll hear from him in a moment. Oh, yeah. Father, dad, yeah. Okay.
For what I've seen so far, my cigarettes are. I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous.
Thank you. Are you okay? Yeah, that could hurt. Do we need to? Okay. You've seen the red bus tours all across the around. Here's the story of one UWC academic. You still happy with the background? We have a sizable family of family.
I hope Modric with his teammates will bring them to the winners to be.
On the other side of the break, we pay tribute to. I have the words really nice now.
and people will choke. Just no. Can we cut it there?
Onwards and forwards we go, with the focus now on 2023, which of course we'll hope will be bigger and better for UWC. We are playing out with music from John Ellis. He's the creative writing master's graduate who we featured on an earlier episode of UWC On Air. He produced a blues album as his thesis. It is genius, actually. From myself, Robin Adams, and the rest of the UWC On Air team, we wish you a safe and prosperous festive season. Bye-bye.
Original Khoisan, Anglo-Saxon. What did you call me? What did you call me? Goat skin on my wrist next to Lakshmi's thread. My earth turns gold, my rivers run red. I am French Huguenot, dentured Hindu, 1820, 1652. What did you call me? Hangers in the sugarcane, fire on the hill, single malt in the dunes, I'll drive, I don't spill, I am southern suburbs, Mams and Toti, Higginson Highway, Shosh and Goofy. What did you call me? What did you call me? Electrified my fence on the day of the vow, I paid for my wife with 15 cows. I am Zane, Indota, Gereformeerde, Tamil Tiger. What did you call me? What did you call me? Run of the country, Speaker of the House, that's my honorable member you've got in your mouth. I am Monopoly Capital, Spear of the Nation, redeploy Cater without compensation. What did you call me? What did you call me? status, state capture, flying economy, born freeloader. What did you call me? What did you call me? Ancestral visa, K-Mash Section T. I've